I thought I had found the one after years of loneliness. But after just 2.5 months, my girlfriend ended things, claiming we felt more like friends than lovers. I said something cringeworthy to her brother, and now I'm fighting for a second chance. I swear on my dead grandparents' graves I'll never take you for granted again. Will she believe me? I 27-year-old male and my girlfriend, 24-year-old female, just broke up 5 days ago. We had been dating since the end of January, 2.5 months, and everything seemed to be going well. We always had fun together, never argued, and were completely infatuated with each other. Before officially asking her to be my girlfriend in January, we talked for 2 months, which led up to our relationship becoming official. During our pre-official phase, we mostly went out to bars or spent time at our apartments. By the time we became official, my work schedule had drastically increased to the point where I was consistently working 5 to 6 12-hour days. She is also a night nurse who worked 6 12-hour days every other week, making it challenging to plan dates with both of us being busy. In our breakup conversation, she told me she could not continue dating me for two reasons. First, she felt that our relationship had started to resemble a friendship with sex, as all we did was go out drinking or stay at home together. She believed I was not taking the relationship seriously enough. Second, I unintentionally made a disrespectful comment about her younger brother, 20-year-old male, during an Uber ride on the night I first met him. After crushing my initial impression for 2 hours, I got caught up singing Pop Smoke's Hello in the Uber on the way back and said something to her brother that was disrespectful, implying, "I know your sister's rear end jiggles." While that was not the first impression I intended to create, especially since I was getting along with him until that moment, I believe I was just drunk and caught up in the moment, singing one of my favorite songs and ad-libbing something I should not have. Aside from the incident with her brother, I have met nearly a dozen of her friends, all of whom praised me, loved me, and thought I was a great match for my ex. Now that you have some background about me, I am wondering if I should share this letter with my ex to express my feelings. I am seeking a woman's perspective on my letter to know if what I wrote would be appreciated by an ex. I want her back and am willing to make any necessary changes to win her back. The letter in question. I know this is somewhat lengthy and I may sound crazy, but this is the best way I can communicate all of my thoughts and feelings that I was unable to express the last time we were together. In my mind, this is what I wish I could have conveyed to you during our last in-person discussion when you broke up with me. I was so distraught over losing you that I could not think straight and say what I needed to say, which led me to regretfully just get up and leave. Reflecting on our time together, I was incredibly happy to have finally found someone with whom I connected completely after 5 long years of being single. Therefore, I feel as though I was somewhat blinded and selfishly just enjoyed the good feelings of having a girlfriend again while failing to focus on building our connection and relationship. I acknowledge that I became too comfortable, but I am fully aware of that now, and I know how to correct it immediately moving forward. I had significant plans for us this summer, and I now have all the time in the world to demonstrate these through my actions, given my newly freed work schedule. I took you for granted, but believe me when I say I would never take you or our relationship for granted again. I nearly left in November after my life turned upside down, but for some unexplainable reason I stayed, and shortly after I met you. I do not think that was by coincidence. I firmly believe in fate, and I believe God brought me to Milwaukee to find you. We have too many quirks and silly traits in common. It is honestly astonishing when you take a moment to think about it, as I have. I wanted nothing more than to showcase you to the entire world, and I am just pleading for a fresh start one date to illustrate that things will be different this time. I would do literally anything in the world for a chance to start over with you. I only want you, nobody else. I want you to be the last woman I am ever with so we can grow old together. You do not have to change me. I just lost sight of the larger picture by failing to take the initiative in finding activities for us to do together, thereby connecting on a more romantic and emotional level for a brief period. I know you claim you do not see us coming back from this, but I am confident that we could because you would immediately recognize and appreciate the change in me. I simply cannot comprehend how you could give up on me or our relationship so quickly based on the first 2.5 months, and think that is indicative of how the rest of our relationship would unfold, especially given that I was working 5 plus 12-hour shifts nearly every week. It is not in the slightest. Should you have had to say something to me in the first place to make me realize I was slacking? Absolutely not. However, you would never have to remind me again. I swear on my deceased grandparents' graves that will never be the case again. You are my number one priority, and I am ready to show it on a daily basis. I just want you to find a little faith in me. Despite my shortcomings, I believe I have earned the right to have some faith in me from you. I never lied, I never cheated. I never physically or mentally abused or manipulated you in any way to my knowledge throughout our entire time together. From what you have shared with me, I feel I was everything your previous partners were not in those respects. All I did was drunkenly sing, and regrettably, ad-lib a disrespectful comment to your younger brother, which I should not have uttered in the first place, and I lacked initiative in creating opportunities to strengthen our emotional bond. That being said, I am not trying to downplay my shortcomings because I recognize how deeply they affected you and your brother. The last thing I ever intended was to hurt or disrespect you or the people you love. I acknowledge all my faults, take full responsibility for them, and am sincerely sorry for them. But I cannot understand how the mistakes I made with you do not deserve a second chance. I know what I said to your brother was completely wrong and out of line. I wish I could take it back, and I should never have said it in the first place. Had I realized I said it at that moment, I would have apologized right away. Still, being drunk and not remembering is no excuse. I am profoundly sorry for unintentionally disrespecting and hurting you and your brother with my comment. At the same time, you did mention that during a conversation over the phone with your brother about me and my lack of planning dates, he somewhat stood up for me by pointing out that you could be partly responsible for my lack of initiative in planning dates and the excessive drinking by always inviting your friends out with us. The fact that he chose to stand up for me during that phone call, which occurred long after my regrettable Uber comment from months before, should indicate that I can rebuild my relationship with your brother over time through my actions of caring for you. He must have seen some good in me to have voluntarily cut me a tiny bit of slack concerning planning dates for our relationship, even after I had upset him months earlier when I first met him, right? He did not have to say anything on my behalf, but he chose to do so despite holding onto the Uber incident from you at that point in time. If there were no way back from my inexcusable comment to him, then I do not see why he would have defended me in any manner during the call with you. It would not make sense. However, at the end of the day, after apologizing to Peyton over the phone the night we broke up, all he wants is for his older sister to feel respected, loved, and appreciated by a good man, just like any sibling or parent would. Furthermore, I cannot get over the expression you had when you tilted your head, looked deeply into my eyes, and almost cried while telling me how much you liked me when we were lying in your bed a week or so before you broke up with me during one of our pillow talks. That expression you gave me pierced my soul, and it is a moment I will never be able to forget. In that instant, looking back into your eyes, I felt as if I could see our entire future relationship playing out in a reel that ended with us holding hands with our canes as an elderly married couple. I swear to God that is what I saw at that moment, and it made my heart flutter indescribably. Given that, I just do not understand how you could be willing to give up on us so easily, considering the larger picture at hand. Our untapped potential as a couple is limitless. You know that as I do, whether you care to acknowledge it or not. I have seen it reflected in your gaze. You have serious feelings for me just as I do for you. What we share is something exceedingly special and cannot be replicated by just anyone. If there is any part of you that can truly recognize that part of our excessive drinking resulted from your decisions to constantly engage with your friends, then please, please, find it in your heart to grant me one last opportunity to dispel all your doubts. I assure you with every fiber of my being that I know how to date and take things seriously. I have done so successfully before and am ready to do it again now with you. I was simply out of the relationship game for so long that I lost focus on what is important, building a stronger relationship through one-on-one experiences. That will not happen again, I promise. I understand what I am doing this time around. I do not want just any type of relationship with you either. I want something real. If offered a second chance, everything would appear and feel very different. I would like to initiate weekly dinner dates. I will help plan trips so we can visit new places, Door County, Las Vegas, Nashville, somewhere with a clear beach, etc. I will come up with more activities for us to do together, such as pedal boat rides in Veterans Park, beach picnics, arts and crafts dates, sporting events, concerts, festivals, etc. on a weekly basis to strengthen our connection. I am over the excessive drinking phase. I want more. I want to build a genuine connection, a true partnership. A real relationship is honestly what I desire most in this world, and I know I am ready for it right here and now with you. God is my witness. I can promise you that if given one last opportunity, it will become one of the best life decisions you have ever made because I know it will lead us to greatness. I have never been more confident about something in my entire life. I just need you to give me the chance to prove you wrong. I may have given you reasons to be disappointed in me in the past, but I do not believe I have ever given you reasons to doubt my trustworthiness. I have always been authentic and honest, so I am just pleading for you to take a leap of faith for a genuine chance at love. All I ask for is one date to show you that I can be the man you envisioned for a serious, long-lasting relationship. Allow me to take you on one final date. After this one date, if you do not feel strongly enough that I will treat this seriously from here on out for eternity, then I can accept that there is no returning for us. Until then, I will not stop believing in us because I know the feelings we have for each other are rare and unlike anything either of us has ever experienced. I feel it in my heart, and I know you do too, no matter how far down you try to suppress those feelings. I am certain they are still there and could reignite if you would just allow them. A deeper dive into my perspectives. In August, I packed all my belongings and moved to a different state for a life-altering job working for Sports Illustrated, which fell apart quickly and left me unemployed less than 2 months after relocating to Milwaukee. In a state of panic, I contemplated packing my things and returning home but ultimately chose to remain and attempt to climb out of what seemed like a hopeless situation. I had no job, no direction, and essentially no friends in this new state. I felt utterly alone. It was truly my lowest moment. Weeks passed before I found a server job that helped me get by. Now, in an entirely new chapter of my life in a different city, pursuing a new career path without direction, I was fortunate enough to secure some stability by obtaining a sports job at MATC. Soon after, I unexpectedly found myself on a blind date with the most beautiful woman both inside and out that I had ever encountered. I took her out, and things went exceptionally well to the point that I uncharacteristically spent 3 consecutive days with her. I finally left her apartment on Monday morning, returning home feeling genuinely happy for the first time in 5 years, as I felt I had finally met someone who complimented me perfectly. I shared my joy with all my friends and family, expressing my belief that I had found someone with whom I could envision spending the rest of my life. Everyone was stunned because they knew I do not take dating lightly and had only felt this strongly about one other woman before. Consequently, I was elated, and we had only just met. To me, it felt as though we had an incredible start. Yes, for the most part during our pre-official phase, we were hanging out, having drinks, and getting to know each other along with our friends. Nonetheless, I think that was perfectly fine for the first 2 months before I officially asked you to be my girlfriend. On that night between the dinner, flowers, and the poem, I thought I had made my intentions clear that things were about to evolve with you as my official girlfriend, and that I was committed to stepping it up a notch moving forward. However, from that point on, I now realize that I let you down. I allowed my regular weekday routine, work schedule, and my own comfort in being back in a relationship to interfere with my efforts to foster and build upon the solid foundation of our relationship. Instead of taking the initiative to plan dates that could enhance our relationship, I sat back comfortably, thinking everything was perfectly fine because we were not fighting and we always seemed to enjoy each other's company. I take full responsibility for our downfall. I should have done better. It is as simple as that. Between my excitement at no longer being single, both of our busy work schedules, my desire to make good impressions with your friends during our outings, and my lack of initiative to arrange one-on-one time, our relationship suffered significantly. That is my fault, and I apologize for failing to show you the love and appreciation you deserved. You made me feel like the luckiest man in the world, and I regret not reciprocating that feeling and showing you how lucky I felt to have you. In retrospect, despite my hectic work schedule, I should have made it a priority to put in more effort. I should have sacrificed some of my weeknights spent cooking meals and working out late to take you out more often during the week and explore new dining experiences together. I also should have devised more unconventional dates, such as visiting an escape room, ice skating, building a snowman, going to museums, enjoying paint and sip sessions, since that is one of your hobbies, attending Bucks games or renting pedal boats among others. I should have maximized my time with you instead of sleeping in late, and I should have communicated better about meeting my parents. Additionally, I should have been more assertive at times regarding the presence of your friends always joining us, as it would have allowed us to have more quality time alone. The bottom line is that I should have approached our relationship with greater seriousness from the start, and I would not be writing this now if I had. I fully recognize that now through this time apart. Knowing what I know now, I do not blame you for having concerns about my commitment to our relationship. Believe me, I would have had my doubts too if I were in your position and observed a trend of a lack of direction in our relationship. Nevertheless, if the roles were reversed and I were reading this right now, I can honestly say there is no way I would allow my previous doubts to prevent me from granting you a second chance, especially not when you are the person I was beginning to fall for, and you are earnestly pleading that you recognize where things went wrong and can confidently explain how things would be different if given that second chance. I am not suggesting that everyone deserves a second chance. I understand that is not always the case. Second chances are earned, not given, and they should be considered on a case-by-case basis. You have every right to deny me that second chance, but if I am being completely honest with myself, I feel I genuinely deserve the opportunity to try again with you. I was simply so caught up in the moment, riding the natural high of finding someone who genuinely made me believe in love again for the first time in over 5 years, that I lost focus on nurturing our bond. I am no longer blinded and no longer weighed down by an overly demanding work schedule. I know I can provide you with everything you want and need in a relationship and then some. Just give me a chance to prove to you that I am sincere. I want nothing more than to create something real and enduring with you, Maddie. I believe we genuinely could if you would only keep an open mind about seeing me one more time. I implore you to offer me one final chance to disprove all your doubts about me and us by allowing me to take you out one last time. Everyone who knows me and understands our situation believes I would be able to guide us into a meaningful relationship if given a second chance, so why can't you? All I am asking for is one opportunity to prove you wrong. That is all. I already won you over once, convincing you to be in a relationship with me. Allow me the opportunity to do it again, but this time from the very beginning. Let me create your very own storybook ending like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I assure you with 100% certainty, you will not end up regretting it.